Good morning. My name is Christina, and this morning we're going to do a flow practice that is going to focus on hip openers. So I invite you to come to your mat. If you have props that you'd like to utilize, blocks or a blanket, folded blanket, please have those accessible. And we're going to begin in a widespread child's pose. So bringing the knees apart to the outside edges of the mat, just gently begin to move your hips back towards your heels and then allow your forearms to rest. Now, if your forehead does not meet the ground, go ahead and place a folded blanket or a block underneath your forehead for support. Now, if your forehead does meet the ground, if you'd like, extend your arms forward, keeping the palms down. Let your forehead relax. And just begin to breathe deeply in and out through the nose. As you breathe in, invite clarity, peace, and as you exhale, release tension, focus in this present moment. Consciously observing our breath, not trying to change it, just noticing. Noticing sensations that may arise in the body. Acknowledging thoughts that may come through the mind. Let's stay here for 2 more cycles of breath. Allowing the hips to gently open as the knees are apart. And then start to lift the forehead away from the ground or from your prop. Start to lift the hips away from the heels, moving the hips forward so that your knees are now in line with your hips as you bring your knees closer together, and then bring your palms back so your wrists and shoulders are aligned. And let's just take a few rounds of cat and cow. So allowing your tailbone to rise, drawing the shoulders back away from the ears, gently tilt your chin upward as you breathe in, stretching the front of the throat, and then round the back as you exhale, drawing the navel up, tucking the tailbone, tucking the chin, arching up like an angry cat. Inhale, reverse. So we're flexing and extending the spine and moving with the breath. Trying to increase the inhalation and slow down the exhalation. So just moving with your breath. One more round of cat-cow. And then come into a neutral spine. We're going to take the right leg, so move your hands up close to the top of your mat. Take your right leg and extend it out behind you. And then if you're able to, take your left arm and extend it forward. Keep the navel drawing toward the spine. And if you find that this is a little bit too challenging right now, go ahead and bring your hand back down. Now, if you're able to, bend that right knee with the foot flexed at a 90-degree angle. Rotate your left wrist and sweep that arm behind you, perhaps holding onto the top of the foot, pressing the foot away from you as you gaze back over your left shoulder. Continue to breathe deeply in and out through the nose. That whispery, wave-like sound of breath, Ujjayi breath. And then come around to center once again. Extend the arm, extend the leg. Now we're going to bring the left hand down and keeping your right leg elevated, cross it over as far as you can to the left side. So you're landing on the ball of your foot. Shoulders are squared to the front of the mat. And start to rotate your body slowly so you're looking back over that left shoulder at your right heel. Creating a nice side body stretch. Pressing your right heel back. Lengthening all along the back of the leg. And then bringing the shoulders back to center, squaring off. Lift that right leg, bring it back around, and drop the knee down. Now let's take the hips back toward the heels before we go to the other side. And let's just start to circle the hips in one direction. You can bend your elbows. Just circling any tension, let it go, and then circle back the other way. Keep breathing. All right, let's arrive back in our tabletop neutral spine position. And one thing to remember is if this bothers your wrists, being on your hands like this, you can always rise up onto your fingertips, keeping the wrists straight to keep pressure off the wrists. Another variation is to make fists and rest on your knuckles. That way your wrists, again, are nice and straight rather than pressing down. Even when you are pressing down, you want to keep the weight in the fingertips and palms. All right, let's take the left leg, extend it straight out behind you. Keeping that left hip rotating downward, left knee down, and then if you're able to, extend your right arm forward, bicep alongside the ear. Core is strong, head and neck are aligned. Continue to breathe deeply. It's as though someone were reaching for you, taking your right hand and drawing it forward, and someone else is taking your left foot and drawing it back, stretching you long. Now, go ahead and bend the left knee at a 90-degree angle. Rotate your right wrist. Sweep that arm back. So we're rotating the shoulder, the chest, the ribs. Maybe hold on to the foot, pressing the foot into the hand and looking over the right shoulder. Ujjayi breathing. One more breath here. And then release, bring it back around. Extend the leg out, extend the arm forward, and bring the right hand down. Now let's take the left foot, cross it over to the right side, so you're landing on the ball of your foot, your heel is lifted, and shoulders are squared. Start to turn the body so that you're looking back at your left heel, bringing the right shoulder closer to the left heel. Nice side body stretch for the obliques. Keep breathing. Square the shoulders back to center. Pick up the left foot, bring it back around and down. And once again, bring the hips back to the heels. Circle those knees. Circle one way and then the other way. All right, let's tuck the toes now and pressing the hips back toward the heels, we're focusing now on the toes, so stretching the toes. Feel those toes spread. At the same time, spread your fingers evenly apart and begin to lift your knees. Looking down at your mat, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, start to straighten the legs. Look between the feet and bring your feet about hip distance apart. Bend your right knee, bend your left knee. Coming into our downward facing dog. You can lift the toes, rock the hips, bend the knees, whatever feels good for your body. Good. Now lift both heels as you breathe in. Press both heels down as you breathe out. Both heels in as you breathe in. Both heels down as you breathe out. Root down through your left heel and float your right leg up toward the sky. You're going to bend that right knee and open that hip. Start to rotate your right foot in a circle. Looking back at your left toes, gently coaxing your left heel closer to the ground. Rotate the foot the other way. And then square the hips, extend the right leg straight back. Draw that right knee towards your chest and step it through, coming down onto your left knee. Now you want to make sure your left knee is at a diagonal to the hip and your right knee and ankle are aligned. Untuck the toes of the left foot. Start to lift the torso. You can bring the hands above the knee, or you can sweep your arms straight up. Relax your shoulders. Bring your palms together. Turn the torso to the right and lower that left elbow on top of the right thigh. Twisting the body, look back over the right shoulder. Now you can keep your back knee down or tuck your toes, lift the knee just a few inches and press that heel out behind you. Keep breathing in this prayer twist. If your knee is lifted, gently lower, untuck the toes, bring the arms forward, extending forward, breathe in, reach up. Exhale, float the fingertips down for our crescent lunge. All right, we're going to get deeper into the hips now. So bringing the right foot over to the edge of your mat, you want the pinky toe side of your foot right at the edge. And then bring your right elbow and shoulder to the inside of your right knee. Now, make sure your left knee is comfortable. So if you want to fold your mat or place a folded towel or blanket under the knee for support, feel free to do so. You'll already probably start to notice some sensation in the left hip. Now for lizard pose, you can stay up on your fingertips or you can lower down to your forearms. If you have a block or two, you can place those under your forearms. Check in and see how your body is feeling in this particular position. Check to see if your breath is still flowing. If you notice you're holding your breath or you're straining or clenching, then you may need to come up. Now, if you would like, keep your left forearm and palm down, lift the bottom of your right foot and roll to the pinky toe side of that right foot. Take your right hand and gently place it above your right knee. You're going to roll the left hip down and just bring the right knee over to the side. Deep breaths in and out through the nose. on your next round of breath. As you exhale, bring the foot back down, bring the hand around, press yourself back up. Now we're going to tuck the left toes under, lift the left knee, and we're going to take a big step with that right foot all the way back to downward dog. All right, pedal your heels, rock your hips from side to side. And we're going to repeat this on the other side. So now we ground down through the right heel and float the left leg up, bending the left knee, looking back at the right toes, and trying to encourage the right heel to move closer to the earth. Start to rotate the left foot in a circle. One direction and the other direction. As you square the hips, begin to gaze forward between your hands. Lifting your right heel, bring your left knee forward and step it through. Land on the ball of the right foot and gently lower your right knee down. Now you may notice the two sides feel completely different, and that's perfectly normal. Make sure that your right knee is at a diagonal to your hip. Your left knee and ankle are aligned, and you can use blocks under your hands if you'd like. Untuck the right toes. Just melt that right hip forward and down, and then lift up. Maybe sweep the arms up. Your choice. Relax your shoulders. Bringing the palms together. Let's twist the other way. So now our right elbow comes down and our left elbow presses back. Option here to tuck the right toes, lift the right knee, and press the right heel back. Keep breathing deeply. If your back knee is lifted, go ahead and bring it down. Bring everything back to center. Extend the arms forward. Breathe in as you reach up. Exhale, plant the palms down. All right. We're going to take the left foot over to the left edge of the mat. So you can heel and toe so that the pinky toe side is right at the edge. Your left arm comes to the inside of your left knee, and you can remain up on your fingertips. You can stay on your knuckles. You can drop to your forearms on blocks or all the way down. Take some deep, full breaths here. Notice how this feels in your body. Now, if you'd like to, go ahead and lift the bottom of your left foot. I'm going to come up a little bit so you can see. So you're rolling the knee out to the side, external rotation of the hip. If this is too much, keep the foot flat, okay? And you can stay on your right forearm, take your left hand, place it right below the knee, and rotate the shoulder and chest. You have the other options to go back to if this one does not resonate with you for whatever reason. If it does not feel good in your body, please do one of the other variations that we've just explored. Staying here for another cycle of breath. Bring it back around slowly. Bring the foot back down. Lift yourself back up. Tucking the back toes under, lift the back knee. Now we're going to take that left foot, big step back, downward facing dog. If you need a break, take child's pose at any time. Just let everything go. Now we're going to float that right leg up once again toward the sky, bend the knee. And we're going to come into pigeon, bringing the left knee behind the right wrist and sliding that left leg back. Okay, you want to settle into both hips. So rather than sitting over on the right side, you want to stay lifted. You can place a folded blanket or a block under the hip for support if you wish. And walk your hands back a little bit closer to you and just settle sink into the hips. Now I'm going to give you a couple variations of this pigeon's pose. So the first option is to come forward, bringing your left forearm down and your left palm down. And then sweeping your right arm behind your lower back, you're going to move that right hand in the direction of your right foot. Now if you can hold on to the toe, the big toe of the right foot, go for it. If not, just drape your hand across your back, roll open the shoulder and chest. Maybe look over the shoulder. If you don't want to do this option, this particular version, the twisted pigeon, you can stack your right forearm on top of your left and just rest your forehead in a resting pigeon. So you have an option here to take it whichever way feels best for you right now. This is a little more active with a spinal twist, and the other is more passive, just allowing the piriformis muscle to relax, the body to relax. And if you have your right hand across your back, go ahead and bring it back around for just a moment. Everybody let the forehead rest. Slowly begin to rise up, bringing the hands back to the ground, tucking your back toes, lifting up. Take that right leg back, and we're back in our downward facing dog. Good job. All right, let's do the left side. So the left leg is going to sweep up, bend the knee, come in for a landing as you bring that left knee toward the left wrist. Slide your right leg back. Settle into the hips, and again, the two sides are not going to be the same. One thing I want to say here in pigeon pose, this pose doesn't feel good for everyone. And by that I mean some people really just cannot execute this posture. It's too much strain on the knees. It doesn't feel good in their lower back, and it doesn't feel good in their hips. So if you are one of those people, or you just want to try a different variation, rather than staying in this position, roll over onto your back. Bend your right knee and cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Okay? And then you can play around with lifting the right foot, weaving the hands, one between the legs, one on the outside, and drawing the knee closer to your chest. Now, at the same time you're doing this, your left elbow is moving your left knee away from you, and the back of your head is down. So this is a reclined pigeon pose. All right, so you have that option. I should have given you that at the beginning, but now you know going forward. All right, let's do the twist on this side for those of you that would like. Okay, so this time we have our right forearm down, and our left arm is going to sweep around, looking for that left foot. We're twisting the spine and looking back over the left shoulder. Make sure you're relaxed. There's no strain, no tension in the face. Just a relaxed state of being. Continue to breathe deeply and exhale completely. Take another round of breath. And let's stack the left forearm on top of the right and bring the forehead down. All right, begin to lift back up, reawakening, tucking your right toes, lifting the knees, step back to down dog. All right, we are going to come to the center of your mat, so just step forward. I'm going to turn sideways. All right, we're going to bring the feet a little bit wider than the hips, and we're going to drop down into yogi squat, okay? So malasana. You can have your hands at your heart. Let me turn sideways so you can see this. Sink your hips down. This is one option. Another option is to drop the tailbone, bring the elbows to the insides of your knees, and lift through the crown of your head. Now, if your feet are not all the way down on the ground and your heels are lifted up, you can place a folded blanket under your feet, under those heels. You can also sit on a block under the tailbone, prop that block there for support if you're coming down and it's just not very comfortable. So let's stay here for about 4 cycles of breath, breathing in through the nose, out through the nose or mouth, just letting go. All right, bring your fingertips down. If you're all the way down, really slowly begin to lift your hips high. Drop the head between your shoulders. Heel and toe your feet to center. Bend one knee, bend the other knee. And come back into a seat, swinging those legs out in front of you. Just rock side to side across your gluteal muscles, your ischial tuberosities. Take a deep breath in, reach up. And then we're going to exhale and just fold forward. Dandasana to Paschimottanasana. You can use a strap, a scarf, a belt, whatever you'd like, around your feet. You can separate your legs if you need to. You can bend your knees if you need to. Good. Now reach your arms out, breathe in. We're going to work on the hip flexors. So I'm just rocking forward a little bit. Slide your heels in. Bring the hands underneath the knees and sit up on your sit bones. Flex your feet and extend your arms out for Ardha Navasana, half boat. If you'd like, extend your legs up and come into a full boat. Great way to strengthen those hip flexors. Keep breathing. Good. One more breath here. Bend the knees, hug them into your chest, and then roll onto your back. Draw the knees up. Relax your head. Circle those knees, giving yourself a much deserved and much needed massage here. Circle one way, circle the other way. Allow the feet to come down. Allow the palms to turn up. Extend your right leg out. Extend your left leg out. Settling deeply into a comfortable space of stillness and silence. We are now allowing all the benefits of our practice to be assimilated in Shavasana. I encourage you to stay in this still, silent space for a minimum of 5 minutes before returning to your day. And I'd like to thank you for joining me today for this hip opening sequence. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Namaste.